get your doobie, grab your box, get your pre-roll ready to rock and roll. And as always, don't forget your lighter. Welcome back, everybody. It has been 1 year since the last time we have gotten together. It's actually been closer to a year and a half, 2 years, well, a year and a half, that we've actually spoken together. I know I left a little blip last season to announce season 2 is coming, but your girl, as always, has gotten ahead of herself. So without further ado, now that you got your water, you got your doobie, you got your pre-roll, you got comfortable in your favorite little seat, I am your host, Samantha Jett, and this is Offensive Healing. Welcome back in, my weirdos. I've missed you. Not a day has gone by that you guys have not been in my mind, and I genuinely mean that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. It's been a year since I posted last that we were coming back for season 2. It took me probably closer to 7 months or so, give or take, to go ahead and get the ass in the gear in order to be able to record for you guys. I've been wanting to and I've been needing to, but here's the thing. Your girl put a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. So this last year I have spent, let's say I've spent the last year trying out different avenues of self-exploration. We can put it that way. And through my self-exploration, I kind of have realized that, I finally found the amount of things that I'm doing that is too much, and I had to dial it back. But one thing that I can say throughout everything that I was trying and doing this last year, doing this podcast and being here with you guys has never left my mind or my forefront or my desires. In fact, it was really kind of difficult to be able to push this off to the back burner so I could focus on the other activities I was doing. It was difficult. So with that being said, I am removing difficult from my plate. I'm refusing difficult anymore. I rebuke difficult. Self-inflicted difficult, because we already know that things that are worth having, they don't come to us super easy. You know what I'm saying? It takes a little bit of work and sacrifice. So now that we are starting to get back focused, and I don't even want to say starting to get back focused, because that kind of imposes or says that, we weren't focused, but the truth of the matter is we were focused on way too much other things other than what was genuinely important to us and through full alignment. And you already know, you guys, that I try the hard stuff so that way you don't have to. And I go through the hard lessons so that way I can help you. Because like I've said time and time again, this podcast is just as much for me as it is for you. Because at the end of the day, if I can't hold myself accountable, I need you guys to help me hold accountable. And I tend to be one of those people-pleasing type of persons that making you happier than I am happy is what, in fact, makes me happy. So we're going to try to redirect this people-pleasing into something that's kind of lucrative, that kind of helps us, me, you, I, be able to get to a point where we are liberated and we are moving into our path. I have to kind of giggle because you know me. I believe in science from universe, and I believe in having a higher calling, a true path, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm kind of like pushing through a little bit right now just to get over this initial hump of dropping my first episode back in so long, because it's kind of like, oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I hope you guys love me just as much as you did before. So, without further ado, go ahead and spark up the duvet. So, I am kind of, I believe in signs and symbols and different stuff that universe, or if you want to call it God, will go ahead and put it into our place. So, I can't tell the story without telling the story, right, you guys? It's where to begin. That's why season 2 is going to be so uplifting and interesting, because I've got a lot to talk about when we're not going to cram it into one little episode. This is just our reintroduction back into each other, you guys. So if you guys were curious and wondering, or if any of you follow me on the social of the medias, then I've been, I'm going to say, trying to blow up on social medias. Not so much that I've been trying, as much as I've been trying to be consistent with what I'm doing. Okay, does that make sense? Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to connect with my weirdos, my people, the tribe, the ones that are meant for me, the ones that get it. So with that being said, if you've been watching, then you know that I've been trying new things. Okay. And it's not that I don't even want to talk about this. I'm trying to wait for whatever it is that universe is trying to put into center to talk about, because I'm kind of doing this off the cuff. I think where I got a little burnt out before with the podcast, and I don't even want to call it burnout. It's just I was really nervous and worried that I wasn't putting out consistent, good quality shit for you to listen to, okay? And one thing I don't want to do is waste my time, okay? So I guess really all I can kind of do is like start off with my little story time bloppity blops and punch in with you, and so you guys can know kind of how everything's been going. Things have been going pretty well. They got a little scary, a little hairy, and a little dark there to begin with, towards the middle of last year. The economic times that we're in right now, I think, are affecting everybody, and I think they are really dividing the strong from the weak. And I say that with a grain of salt, okay? Because I was one of those families that was affected by the cost of living rising, okay, put it that way. So sobriety still going good. I have a whole spiel about that one, which we'll make another episode. Your girl did officially get diagnosed ADHD, as we already knew him, and I got a touch of the autism, as we already knew him. So with that being said, I am officially medicated now, you guys. And the reality of it is I wish I would have discovered the ADHD and the medications for ADHD a lot sooner, because I know I would have had a lot easier time with my sobriety than what I did. I wouldn't have struggled so hard. But then again, I might not have built and given birth to offensive healing had it not been for my frustration with my sobriety. So sobriety is still going good. The alcohol portion of my sobriety journey, we have got a nice, good, strong hold on everything. And so I'm giving myself a pat on the back for that one. I am to the point where I no longer buy alcohol from my house, so that's a good thing. That took a long time for me to kind of wrap my head around. And the reality of it is had I probably started on my ADHD medicated journey, I probably wouldn't have struggled so hard like I did with the alcohol. I don't think I would have gotten into it, because once the meds came kind of into play, it was like, okay, that sense of needing something was gone. So that's a good thing. Husband's sobriety is still going good. Husband's had some changes, which we'll talk about too, because we got to talk about what it means to be an adult and career changing and lifestyle changing and all of the above, because there's a lot that goes along with that one. Okay. Um, I have dwindled down my sources of income down to just a few little avenues that I've been trying to grow and make work. Because, I can't keep doing things that I used to do in the past just because before they might have worked. Like, because, all right, we'll get back on the topic. So, you know how I was touched a little bit about how we were one of the families that was affected. Not saying that we got cut off from food stamps or anything like that, because unfortunately, even when we needed help, we didn't qualify. Okay. So, when everything, the cost of living started to rise and everything like that, we were affected greatly, because at the end of the day, we were barely making ends meet. It was a whole thing. So I decided last year, in September of last year, no, excuse me, pardon me, September of 24, I decided that I was going to, because I'm already doing online work, I decided that I was going to go ahead and jump into, trigger warning, you guys out there for little kids. I started to do OF, you guys. I had a long discussion with my husband about it, and I discussed the kind of content I was going to create. I discussed the plan I was going to do, and I started to kind of mess with that whole thing. I say it like that because it was very empowering. It was very invigorating. It was very uplifting for a time. Okay. Well, so I kind of did that for a little bit. I gave myself 1 year with it, and then I made a deal that I was going to end it for this year. So it's officially ended. But in the beginning, it was kind of like, the way I looked at it was like a little hidden money stash. Because the way the platform works is you post, you get subscribers, you have to actually go in and set up your withdrawals to go to your bank account, what you make. Well, I didn't know how to do that for the longest time, so I was able to save up some money on that app, which was really cool, because at the time and place and period we were in, um, money was really tight. Things were really bad. So it kind of came in handy for the moment. And the only reason I kind of even was going to go down that road with everything was because back when husband and I first met, okay, I knew when I was 17, 18 years old that I wanted to work in the adult industry. And don't quite know the origins behind that, besides the fact that it looked really cool. It looked like it could be a lot of fun and a great way to make a lot of money. It was all of those plus some stuff that I didn't expect to have to carry along with me. Okay. So I have a background history in dibble dabbling in the entertainment industry. So this kind of wasn't too far out of my playhouse. Okay. Well, I kind of have to giggle because you know how I was talking about signs and shit, right? So when I did it, I was like, fuck, I don't know if I want to, what all I want to show, what all, I don't even know what I'm gonna see. Okay. That's kind of what started me on my workout journey, to be honest with you. So I did my first photo shoot at my heaviest of 217 pounds. All right. Just fresh into my sobriety. Okay. Just fresh into it. Because this past October made 2 years. Okay. So I had about 1 year under my belt when I decided to start off OF. Okay. So September 24 to September, September 24 all the way until, we'll say October of 25 is when I ran this. Okay. About halfway through, I decided like the photo shoots were too much to keep up with. All of it was too much to keep up with. However, the photos were great for my gym motivation, you know what I mean? Which probably in turn was playing a little bit of a role in my because I started to get a little depressed about my physical attributes and stuff like that, but I wasn't letting it get to me, because at the end of the day, I do things for myself, not for the pleasure of others all the time. So we literally, basically, we were able to do video and pictures of the whole weight loss journey, which was great. Yay, empowering. Well, as I always do, like, because you guys know I have an issue with my follow through game, my burnout game. I got burnt out really quickly. And I should have known that I was going to get burnt out. And I should have known that I was going to lose interest, because I tend to lose interest. Like, I'll get excited about an idea right away, but then the second it becomes like too much for me to do and I don't want to do it no more, that's how I know it wasn't necessarily meant for me to be doing in the first fucking place. Because at the end of the day, if it was something I was meant to do, I would never get tired of it. But I giggle because you know how I was telling you guys science, right? Chick, tell me why your girl. I don't know if you've ever heard of this content creator on TikTok. She's on YouTube too. Tarot on Decks, or Real Tarot on Decks. And I actually purchased a one-on-one reading from her. She's that good. I 10 out of 10 do recommend that woman. I'll put a link after my episode here. So I had did a one-on-one reading with her, and she had told me Spirit was telling her to tell me to knock all that sexual shit off. It's not meant for me. And then you already know your girl sat there and rolled her eyes like, yeah, I know, I already knew that, but I'm going to do it anyway, because this is how we do things around here. So your girl went ahead and did it. And it didn't pan out, y'all. Big surprise. Here's the thing. Halfway through my little journey of self-exploration, we'll call it, it turned into something else. I actually started using AI. And I was using AI for my models and different stuff like that, which was awesome because I taught myself a really nifty, cool, awesome fucking skill. So, which then in turn helped me with my marketing, so I was able to market my OF, which then I was like, okay, let me see if I can't use this to market my Facebook. Let me see if I can't market this to get this to market my TikTok, stuff like that. So I started taking what I was learning about this OF scenario and how to get your subs, and put it into other contexts of what I'm doing in my life, which then always kept pouring back down to the podcast. Because the one thing I never really did and haven't done, and you probably will start seeing more advertising for it, is advertise the podcast. A lot of people don't even know that I'm here. Hello. Hi, how's it going? So in turn, I have taught myself how to use some very useful, very valuable tools in my day-to-day life. And then in turn, I had to make the agreement like efficient, like make it for real by telling universe, like, okay, now that I've learned what I needed to learn from this, because I knew there was something I had to learn, because Spirit won't put the idea in your head if there's not something meant for you to learn, is what I'm discovering. So now I have learned marketing. I had to go about it a little bit of a wonky way, but it is what it is. So that's one thing new, and I just wanted to address it before people wanted to start talking about it. If they started talking about it, if they can even still find any of the content that I once created. So that was pretty cool. But your girl tried it, did it. If you're somebody who's interested in it, I would absolutely be willing to help you figure out your niche and how to go about it, because I have a lot of information, okay? A lot of knowledge, and knowledge is power. And I do believe that it can be used in a beneficial way, okay? It's just not for me right now, if that makes sense. So, with that being said, let's spark up our doobie again. Confessions Corner. We're going to start calling it Confessions Corner. I'm scared. So here's another confession. You guys ready for this one? I know it's been no secret. I know I haven't really been hiding it, because I haven't been trying to hide it, because it's like noticeable, you guys. Your girl went to the dentist and got her teeth redid. No more making my own crowns like I used to. And I'm not even joking, you guys. I don't know if you were aware or not. I'll probably talk about this too in another episode, a little bit more in depth. I was carjacked about 15, 16 years ago, and I lost my front teeth as a result. So I had a lot of journey and issue with my dental. And I finally, this Christmas Eve that passed, the one I kept making, the one that kept changing shape and colors on everybody, that one officially fell out, and I had to get it replaced. So they ended up having to replace all four. So we're smiling, we're profiling, we're trying to get used to it because I liked my little crooked smile. But anyway, so we'll probably have another episode about that because the whole dental journey was an eye opener and I learned quite a lot. The kids are doing really good. School is schooling. We actually did a 2-day road trip to Florida and 2 days back. We were there for a week. Unfortunately, we all got sick while we were there. I'll probably have an episode about that because there's a lot to talk about. We're definitely going to have an episode about husband's journey into the trucking industry. Definitely going to have a episode about the retirement process, what it looks like, dynamic change in the households. Oh, there's a lot with that. But I mainly just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys, give you a little bloppity bloop bloop about what's going on to get you guys ready for what's to come and tell you how super excited I am to continue this journey with you guys. And I can't wait to see what we do and what we build. If you guys don't remember or aren't sure, we have an email, offensivehealing@gmail.com. It might be offensivehealingpodcast@gmail.com. I'll put a link in the descriptions, just like I'll put a link to Tarot and Decks. So I would love for you guys to go ahead and start emailing in, getting used to asking questions, emailing me. If you have ideas, what you might want to hear about from me. I think I'm finally and officially ready to start fully disclosing and coming to terms with a lot of the growth that's been going on and let you guys in on the secrets and the backdrops and the backstories so that way you learn to understand where and why and how I got to here, so that way maybe you and I can figure out how the fuck we're gonna get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you're here, then that means you're like me, and if you're like me, we need information. Step on me. We need information. And I know I'm not the only motherless child out there who has relied on every source she could grab to figure out this thing we call life and womanhood. So just know that I'm here with you and you're here with me and we have each other's backs. We got this. We're going to get it together. 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year. I've been spending the last 39 years, you guys, trying to learn this thing we call life and how to navigate through it so that way I can get through it easily. But here's the big kick in the teeth. I don't want to go through this alone. I need you just as much as you need me. And I think that's kind of serendipitous. I think that's kind of amazing. So with that being said, welcome back, you guys. I have missed your beautiful faces. And as always, if no one's ever told you, I'm proud of you. We got here. We did this. And I love you. And there ain't nothing we can't do together. Have a wonderful day. Go do something phenomenal for yourself because you deserve it and you're worth it. Love you guys. See you next week.